he took over, program. It's his first year. I think he was an assistant coach last year, and knowing that there was going to be struggles ahead, I think is something that they all probably knew. Kids, coaches. It takes some heart from those kids to continue to go.
Absolutely. Shout out to Cardinal. We wish the best for that team moving forward, and I have every confidence in the world that they're going to return back and have a good team. Coach Weber, his first year down at Pekin, went 0-9,
yep.
And he's progressively put those wins together and put the schedule together where it's appropriate for the talent Lisbon. So that's going to be good for them. So shout out to Cardinal, and appreciate those guys sticking it out the rest of that game.
Absolutely.
If for nothing else, to let the young guys get a few minutes. So good for them. Moving on from that game, you got a big one coming up against Pleasantville, which is all intents and purposes probably going to be the district title. They beat Pella Christian last night. How do you prepare for this week, which is going to be a huge game for SK?
Well, I think up to this point we've prepared ourselves for this game. We've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen the beat down. We've seen a game where we got a lead and we just had to sustain it, and then we've seen the comeback from behind victory, which brought me back to memories from the Pleasantville game last year. We had to find a way to come back and win the game. That's what we did against Mid Prairie, and I think mentality-wise, last year there was a few things going against us. We had some sickness running through the team. We had a handful of guys that probably shouldn't have been there and just didn't say anything and went out and played. And but we had to dig down deep last year. They have last year a freshman quarterback. His first start was against us, and the kid's going to be unreal. Bingham is going to be he's got 3 more years of this, and it's going to be a tough task to get him stopped. We've got to have the mentality that this is their Super Bowl. I mean, from last year, thinking they should have won the game, I'm sure that's what it's been talked about all year long leading up to this game. And our mentality has to match their mentality, and not just think, well, it's we've beat them the last few years and whatever. We're going to have to come to play. I mean, they're going to be a talented team. They're well coached. Coach Jorth does a great job over there, and he's continuing to build that thing. And we're going to have to play really well on all sides of the ball. But I think they lost a ton of talented kids from last year's team, just like we did. And we're finding that each week those guys that have replaced those guys and found that role have continued to get better and better and better. And we got to expect they're in the same boat. So. We're going to preach 4-quarter game. You got to make all the plays you can when you have that opportunity, and offensively, defensively, special teams I think is going to come up huge. I think we've done a pretty good job special teams wise, just flipping fields and forcing teams to drive a long ways, and that's what we're going to need against this quarterback. He's going to have to get pressure on. We're going to have to get pressure on him and force him into long fields and hopefully air it throws.
Last year it seemed like Bingham came in second drive, third drive, something like that. They started a different quarterback than they did. They started a different quarterback, brought Bingham in. This year he is the guy. I thought last year it was a relatively balanced attack. They had some big dudes, they had some runners, and they could throw the ball. When Bingham came in, do you see that same setup this year out of this team, or do you think that they're a little more one-dimensional, or what are you expecting?
I think they're still going to do. They're going to take what you're given. Ammons was their running back last year, and he was a really talented kid, and so I don't think they've got a good running back, but not where he was. Few new linemen, a lot of the receivers and big tight end they had that were really talented are gone. The replacements they have in are doing a good job, and Bingham just puts the ball where they can get it. And I think they're similar to us. Just new bodies, maybe a little different look, but still a talented football team.
Righto. So we've covered Cardinal 60-0. We've got Pleasantville coming up. Last night was number 100 for Coach Jensen. Can you talk about what that means to you? That's a milestone, Coach. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
100 wins in one program. SK, what is...
Well, 2 programs.
2 programs. But, I mean, SK is a dynasty. I'm going to call it a dynasty, right? Coach Howard, Coach Jensen. I mean, to be even mentioned in Coach Howard's presence in this town, what does that mean to you?
It means everything. I think that's the driving force with our football program in general. I mean, he laid the foundation of what it looks to be successful and the standard you have to live by and play by. And, you know, and I'm not trying to fill his shoes. I don't think anybody can do that. But, you know, I'm just the guys that played for him, for Coach Howard, you know, what we're doing is just an appreciation to those guys. You know, just we want to put the best product out that we possibly can. Our fans have seen it for years and years and years with Coach Howard. You know, we haven't got to that point with the championships, but that's really what we're striving for. And you know, I think with any victory, any milestone, you know, I'm very appreciative of the coaches that have been around me. You know, I think coming from Twin Cedars to SK, you know, I had 12 wins in 3 seasons at Twin Cedars. So, you know, the majority of those wins have come from SK. But you know, just the players that I've had, everybody's been a part of it. I think the coaching staff when I came here was great for me because I was still a young guy, but I had a veteran coaching staff to really kind of teach me how to be a head coach. You know, I mean, you know, all those guys. I mean, I think every coach that's been around. I mean, we you know, you just learn from each other. You know, I mean, Coach Mateer, Coach Yarms, you know, those 2 guys were pretty instrumental right away. You know, with my time here. I mean, Coach Mateer had coached for a ton of years, Coach Yarms for a ton of years. You know, Coach Weber was with us. Jim Sellers had been around the program for years and years and years. And, you know, I'm sure I'm leaving some other guys out. But, you know, coaching staffs. But I think from there, all the learning involved, you know, then you get other former players that have played in this, you know, pro. The coaching's one thing, but when you're surrounded by talented kids that are bought in, talented or communities that are really supportive and bought in is you know, the reason we're here. You know, it's accumulation of all the communities, the involvement in the communities, the parents that you know, played SK, understand what it takes to be successful. They want their kids to have that same experience, and you know, it's just worked well, and I'm just very appreciative that, you know, this isn't necessarily you know, it was my 100th win, but that goes with all the players, all the coaches. You know, I've got some texts from some players and stuff, and, you know, just congratulating, you know, that they were a part of, you know, this whole thing, and you know, it's something that'll sit with me forever.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's time to move on to the next segment. For those of you guys that watch this program, you'll notice that every once in a while, whether it's a guest or me, we're glancing over this way because the doors to Brothers Market are right there, and people are flooding in here today to get these 50-cent wings,
Yeah.
because you guys put 60 up last night. And then on top of that, my beautiful bride Erin, who always takes my breath away, so I've been struggling just to talk to you. You know, I don't have oxygen because there she is. You know, I'm so excited about this thing. She's sitting here because she's going to do our favorite segment, Erin Asks. Okay. But so I'm distracted by the door, I'm distracted by her, and then on top of it, she's over here in the adult beverage section, running back and forth between the buzzer, making this thing more complicated, and she's cackling the whole way through. So this is a glimpse into my life, Coach.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You've seen it before, and you're going to see it again. So
I was telling her to grab a bottle of something and before she comes up on screen.
Yeah, but, we're going to need that. We're headed to Ames to watch Arkansas State Red Wolves.
Oh yeah,
take on the ISU Cyclones.
Yep.
I'm going to give Erin my microphone, and then I'm going to hit her jingle that she requested.
I love it. So.
There we go. There we go.
Erin's got it. Here, Erin, let me hit your jingle.
Erin Asks.
You want me to do this?
I'm talking into my microphone, and it's not even in front of me.
I can be one of those boom guys.
Yeah. It's like, I don't mind stealing his.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, is it my turn? Okay, are you ready for this?
We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, so someday when I'm queen of the world, there's lots of things I want to change, rules and things. Some of those rules are about football, okay? So the rule I think is so stupid is holding, because isn't that kind of the point, to keep the guy, you know, from getting where you don't want him to go. So I would change the holding rule. So my question for you is, what rule in football would you change?
I would probably go, and I know it's all about safety, but not necessarily.
It's a perfect world, pretend.
Not a blind side block, but the new targeting, not the college targeting, but we had a kind of a targeting call against Meepo, and we came from the side from a guy, but you have to be in complete vision of somebody you're going to block. So I think that's a little. I understand the safety aspect, but it takes a little bit away from someone breaks one down the sideline, which happened. Someone going and just trying to pick that guy off so they don't get him caught. Typically you're going to get flagged for it. So I would probably say that. I think rules are rules, and I think it's all set, but a lot of it's trending more towards safety, which takes a little bit away from your ability to be as aggressive as you want.
Yeah. I'm a big rule follower, 100%, and I'm not even joking about that. I follow rules. I just think that's
hold on.
a stupid rule.
Traffic laws.
I follow traffic laws 100%.
Check your speed, babe.
My speed is good, 56.
Right.
Okay. Okay, and then this is football related, but not high school football related. How awesome do you feel about last night's Nebraska-Illinois game? Lost in overtime.
Wound.
Yeah.
Too soon, Aaron.
Listen,
that, you know what?
We're not big Red fans around here.
I obviously didn't get to watch the game. We watched some of the second half, but we had that opportunity to win the game with a field goal. Our starting kicker was out, backup was in, and pulled it left, and obviously could have won the game there. So, I'm just happy that we're playing quality football rather than just watching games and just hoping that you can stay in it. I think Coach Rule's done a fantastic job and really has flipped the culture completely.
Mm-hmm.
We got Illinois last year. They got us this year. But I feel like we're still in a pretty good place. So that loss hurt a little bit, but knowing that you could have won the game, should have won the game, something you can live with. It wasn't the Nebraska of the last few years.
Well, and I say this a lot, that it's not one play that defines a game or makes it you the winner or the loser of it. They could have won that game in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, with something else. So, and I did say last night, and I probably, this hurts to say it, but I think that they'll probably beat Iowa this year. So,
I hope so.
Listen. Ignore the ugly shirt I'm wearing, okay? There's about 5 people in the entire world I'd wear this ugly shirt for, and so we're going to go see one of them today.
Yep.
All right, I got to ask the Nebraska question. If you had to set the over-under number of years before Nebraska hits a national championship again, what would it be?
Jesus. I think the college landscape's changing so much. I think you're still going to have the dominant teams, but I feel like there's going to be a lot more teams involved in winning or having the opportunity to win, opening up the playoffs to 12 teams. I'll say, within the next 10 years,
over-under
we're getting that natty.
All right, so he's taking the under on 10.
As long as Rule stays.
There you go.
Yeah, he's the guy then.
He's the dude.
That's the guy.
All right.
Thank you for letting me ask.
Absolutely. This is an interesting segment. I'm always wondering what is going to be asked.
I really thought I was going to ask more creative questions, but up to this point, it's been kind of like, well, wait a second, I want to know about this, football-wise. So they're not all silly questions after all.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so for those watching, the premise is Aaron and I are riding home from a game, and she says, why don't you ask the question all the moms want to hear? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I'm not a mom, so I don't know what that question is. So fire it my way and let's go.
Yep.
And they have been relatively tame. I thought we would be bouncing
absolutely.
off the wall a little bit more.
No, I enjoy it.
But we'll keep Mindy out of it.
Yes.
Hey, she got by the buzzer
I don't
this
know how
time.
she
So,
did it. Did she crawl under it?
are we out of here? Are we wrapping this up?
I think we have ran the wheels off of this bus. So, Coach, again, congrats on 100 wins. Well
Thank
done,
you.
sir.
Thank you very
And,
much.
We'll check it out here at Brothers Market.
All right, go Cobras.
All righty. Again, we do thank Brothers Market for being our host venue and our lead sponsor on the sports section. Get in here at 118 South Main in Sigourney. Of course, they told me not to talk about those wings this morning, so this is me not talking about the wings. I mean, unless you want some wings, because they got a great deal this morning. Hey, we'll be back here next Saturday, 8 a.m. for the sports section here on Steve Shetler Media.